Am I recording? Okay, good. I am recording. How's it going? Welcome back once again to another episode of Jammin' Dude's Neighborhood. I am your host, Ben Jammin' Straley, and I am joined on this wonderful, warm and pleasant Sunday evening by my co-host, the Black Russian. Oh, thank you for joining me once again as I go through a series of album reviews. I'm going to start sounding like a commercial, but I'm very, very proud to say that one of the best bands in all of progressive metal I discovered right here in my own backyard in the Seattle area. And he has since become a friend, but as previous reviews have shown, that I try not to let that taint my objectivity. But this week, we get back to the album that, for me, started it all. I did a review of this album 3 years ago, but as part of my series, I wanted to revisit it. This is the first Odd Logic album I ever heard, and it's entitled If We Were Live. It is a brilliant concept album. Sean Thompson, let's try that again. Sean Thompson personally handed me this very CD after his other project, Graphic Light Theory, had opened up for Fates Warning on the Darkness in a Different Light tour. I was so blown away by the band that I started a conversation with Sean, and he said, well, this was his main project, and he handed me this CD. I took it home and was immediately taken aback. This is an amazing CD, and actually it's not even really Odd Logic's best. If you want that, you need to go to the first review I did in this series, because their most recent album, Effigy, is so far really their crown jewel. But they have not, Sean Thompson has not released a bad album. I've been a bigger fan of some than of others, but he has not released a bad album at all. But I like this. This is a good starting point. If you're looking for a good introduction to what Odd Logic is all about, I highly recommend starting here with If We Were Live. The entire album takes place as an imaginary live concert, where you are even introduced into this imaginary world by the sound effects as if you were entering the concert venue yourself. The concert venue is the Illusory Palace, which again is an imaginary place. I love the creativity of the entire concept, this idea of this mysterious theater that Odd Logic fans seek out and find, and to see their favorite band. And then also Sean, with his self-depreciating humor, puts in some little digs too as to the unpopularity of the band, which is criminal that this isn't one of the highest-rated bands in prog rock today. So we get that starting out, and then great intro track, The One, right? I don't have my contacts in right now tonight. It's The One starts off the album. Nice, good, heavy, mid-paced rocker. When I first started the album, I was like, okay, this is cool. Wasn't sure. It wasn't one of those real bombastic, like hook you right away kind of songs. But it was enough to go, you hear some chops and it gets your interest. Then it goes straight into track 2, which is probably my personal favorite Odd Logic song, Perfect Day. I've seen some other local musicians say the same thing. Mike Vord, you're the man. He also states it's like, this is such a rocker live. When you get a chance to see Perfect Day live, it's just amazing. Great riff. This is at the point in the album when you go, these guys are for real, and it really heats it up. Good chops, good progression, and a great chorus without sacrificing any sort of musicmanship. Track 4, you get the intro track, The One, Perfect Day. Track 4 is Spirit Girl. Drops things down a little bit. I like that after a couple of heavy tracks, he's able to drop it down into something more melodic. It reminds me of early Dream Theater in that way. You know how nowadays it seems like with Dream Theater we either get really heavy or really soft. We get the really heavy album or the really soft album. Sometimes they still mix it up, but one of the things that I liked about Dream Theater in the beginning was that they could be either Metallica or Kenny G on one album. This album doesn't quite go to that extremes. I like the balance a little bit better, but I like that Sean is able to showcase a super heavy side and then balance it out with something that breathes, something really mellow, and something emotional that can keep things going. Then we get into a very emotional mini epic called The Dark Poet. The music and lyrics, according to liner notes, are by Sean's friend James Sabin, and I just want to say that I never met the man, but it's incredible that this piece lives on, and I really am amazed at Sean Thompson for keeping James alive in the context of this song. The Dark Poet is a beautiful mini epic. You'd have to hear it for yourself. It goes through the whole gambit of emotions that you would imagine in a mini epic. We do see all the sides of Odd Logic, both the heavy, the mellow, and all the emotion gathered up in this track in The Dark Poet. So for James Sabin, I'm amazed that Sean was able to breathe his passion into this song. After the mini epic, we bring it into Naked Mannequin. This is a great live piece as well. This one a little bit more hook oriented, great chorus. Love seeing this one live. I believe Sean played this at Louis G's when I saw them, and I was just it really has a lot of punch and really gets the crowd going. A good hard metal in your face prog rock. Revenge of the Spirit, a little bit more mid-tempo if I had to pick a sort of also ran from this album, but still excellent piece. It just kind of gets drowned out by the other amazing pieces of music in this album. And then we really end the Illusory Palace concert proper with the crown jewel of this album, and that is The Great March. 18-minute masterpiece. Absolutely one of the best 15-plus minute songs I have heard in progressive rock. The ending is not to be believed. We get a choir and a majestic ending that would rival anything. I would say it even rivals the ending of Crystallized by Haken. After that, the band comes out and plays. We get a live rendition of something from his first album, Parallax Panorama. Parallax Panorama. Make sure. And it's called The Tide. I am a huge fan of this piece, and live, they create an audience sing-along that breathes new life into the song. My only complaint about The Tide is that it's not long enough. The Tide almost sounds like the grandiose epic ending to a much longer piece, and instead it's just sort of about a 2.5, 3 minute piece that kind of stands on its own. I wish it had like an 8-minute build up backing it up, but it is what it is. By itself, it is still an amazing piece, and the audience sing along. I hope someday I have an opportunity to be in a theater full of people singing along to The Tide as an encore. It would be an amazing experience. Post-show credits is the final track, and it's just, we get the chance to leave the concert. It does really bring the entire theme together of arriving at and leaving the concert. I don't really like the way it ends. I think I said that before. It's grown on me a little bit, the joke, but I won't play any spoilers. But I will give you a link. You need to go out and check out this album. Odd Logic, If We Were Live, is the greatest local CD I have probably ever heard from the Seattle area. Please go out and check out this criminally underrated band. And next week we are going to be getting into Over the Underworld for all you werewolf and vampire maniacs out there. That's going to be a really interesting write-up because it's meant to go with the Kate Beckinsale movie. So those of you who are fans might want to tune in. I'll have a few words about that. But please check this out on their website. Go find Odd Logic if you're a progressive metal fan. You'll love it. And thank you so much for tuning in once again. And we will see you next time on Jammin' Dude's Neighborhood. Take care, guys.